What's that Mike Tyson quote? Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yes, yeah, that's a good quote.
We had a plan.
Yeah, we did.
It was to have the drunkenest episode of the year, as we often do on Christmas, but that's not happening anymore.
I didn't know whether we were going to be honest about this or whether we were going to follow through with
we
it.
mentioned it on our Instagram as well, that the episode was in a little bit of jeopardy here because of me. I'll say it. We, we got in there and Big Coop had a little turbulence.
Yeah, you did your best. You downed 5 of your 6 beers, and then they downed you.
They did indeed. And we were worried because you've lost a lot of weight for anyone who does not know you in real life. And we were worried about you.
Yeah, going in, I was
right.
worried. I was worried that I was going to be the one who couldn't get through the beers.
No.
And
we should have both known that if anyone was going to torpedo this podcast, it'd be me. Yeah. Hold my beer, I said. No, I actually wish I had said that because I would not have been in such rough shape. Welcome to Bad Movies and Beer. I'm Cooper.
And I'm Nolan.
And today, with a slight change of plans, we are still discussing Jingle All The Way. Just we're way more sober than what we had originally thought.
Yeah, it's true. Most of our drunken energy got poured into a future episode.
Fuck, yeah. Our first episode of the new year is going to be probably the drunkenest one, maybe ever.
I think possibly. Neither of us remember recording it, so it's a pretty good sign.
That's not good. No, no, man. And if you listen to our Christmas beer draft where we divided up the beers for this episode, there's some quotes from me in there that really do not age well. There's one where I'm like, yeah, I'm not worried about the 7%. Like, I'm in it for the long haul. And I'm just like, you fucking idiot. Listen back to that. I'm like, oh, God.
The hubris piles on in that drafted episode, huh?
Bad times. I don't want to make excuses, so I'm just not going to. There's just some rookie mistakes made by yours truly. But we're here. We've reconvened. Should still be able to get this out ahead of Christmas, God willing. No, but we've got one beer left each, and we're going to do it.
Yes.
From our Tag Liquor Advent calendar.
Yes.
Yeah, man. And we're talking Jingle All The Way.
Yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger Christmas movie here.
What a man. Just Arnold. We love Arnold. We love Arnold in this podcast. Here's something I had confused. I thought Jamie Lee Curtis played the wife in this. And I know she's the wife in True Lies, but for some reason I thought they ran it back here.
Oh, no. It's Rita Wilson, right? It's
you can say it, a sizable downgrade. No offense to Tom Hanks. I would not consider Rita Wilson someone that maybe like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Phil Hartman are going to be fighting over. If it's me, I don't know.
You think there was just too much time spent battling over the love of Tom Hanks' wife?
Yeah. So we're going to cover all that and hopefully some more family-friendly fare. But first, we've each got one more beer to crack from our beer draft. Which one did you save until the end here?
Yeah, the one I was saving till the end was the Mind Trip Hazy IPA from the Main Street Brewing Company. I drank the other 5, and we'll spend a little bit of time at the end just giving our, maybe ranking them in order.
Yeah, highlights and perhaps lowlights, you never know.
Yeah.
I have saved the Granville Island Lions Winter Ale. So, you know what? It may not be our original plan here, but I'm still celebrating Christmas with a wintry ale. I think that'll be hopefully good.
This will be the first one you're drinking since you got taken out by the other 5.
Yeah,
so.
Since Draftgate.
Yes.
We're going to call it? Sure. Yeah, man. Well, let's crack it open and see what happens. So after the 20th Century Fox and 1492 Pictures logos, we smash into the opening credits in some family-friendly action. It's the Turbo Man TV show, which is basically a combination of the Adam West Batman show and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This is bright and silly and campy as fuck, and as Turbo Man saves the day, we see that his brave and noble actions are inspiring another superhero, a future one anyway. It's Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, so I was wondering here, is this before or after Kindergarten Cop?
After Kindergarten Cop, before The Phantom Menace. If we're going back to,
Pulling us back in here, the little kid is Annie from the remakes or whatever we call them, the first
prequels.
Yeah, the prequels, the Star Wars prequels. Not a great actor.
No, I was going to say he might not be playing Anakin Skywalker, but it appears he's going to be as fucking whiny as him. When Rita Wilson comes in and tells him to get changed for karate class.
But Dad's not home yet. Now he's probably gonna miss me get my belt. He misses everything.
Well, he's not gonna miss this. He's probably just working really hard.
And we immediately cut to someone popping champagne at a raucous Christmas party. Apparently, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character is the world's greatest mattress salesman because, first of all, he's closing deal after deal at night on December 23rd, but also this mattress store or office or whatever is insanely nice. It's like some gorgeous loft space with exposed brick, wooden beams, nice floors. No wonder Arnold never comes home. I'd rather live here, too.
Yeah, you've already shit all over Rita Wilson, so he doesn't have a lot to come home to. His kid's whiny. His wife is not as hot as other women that you've described in Hollywood, and the house isn't much to speak about when you talk about this amazing office. This character he's playing, though, is quite the workaholic. Seems like a bit of a piece of work.
Oh, just because he is going so late and like the way he's kind of schmoozing his customers?
Yeah, constantly.
Yeah. His number one customers.
Yeah, everyone is his number one customer. He even describes his wife that way as he's trying to like tell her he's going to be home in time.
Yeah, which he's definitely not, despite his assistant's best attempts to remind him about the karate class while he's on the phone. It is once he calls his wife his number one customer, kind of going on autopilot there, that he finally gets his ass in gear. But still, by the time he leaves the party, we, her, and everybody else knows he is not going to make it on time. And that's bad news for Arnold, because while he's sitting in traffic, Phil Hartman is moving in on his lady. And again, I ask, Rita Wilson, really?
To me, it was the other. I was sort of like, Phil Hartman, really? Because he's there and he is sort of putting moves on Rita Wilson, but who is all over him at this performance?
Literally every other MILF in the neighborhood?
Yeah, they're all here to like get some of his support. They want him to help with their plumbing.
Yep.
Some of them describe their pipes needing a good fill.
Yeah, there's some light bulbs that need changing. That might also be a euphemism. I'm not sure.
Pretty much everything here. It got real sexual real quick, and I was like, holy crap, I do not remember any of this.
No, same. But based on these comments, they're also offering him like cookies, which, again, metaphor? Not? We don't know. Seems like Phil Hartman basically running a 24/7 door-to-door ass service. But I guess, going back to Rita Wilson, some guys always want what they can't have, right?
It does seem that way because he is trying to make the moves on her. She sees it just as a kind neighbor, I think, at this point, although she's going to see later in this film he's got more on his mind.
Oh, yeah. He shoots his shot later in a dramatically escalating fashion as we go through here. But I mentioned wanting what they can't have a minute ago. Well, what Arnold Schwarzenegger wanted more than anything was to make it to little Anakin's karate class on time. But he gets pulled over after trying to outsmart traffic by driving on the shoulder, then makes things worse for himself by trying to talk his way out of a ticket he very much deserves. The cop has him step out of the car and go through a multi-stage sobriety test, and by the time Arnold finally gets out of there and makes it to the gym, the class is long since finished. They even give us that classic shot of the lone janitor sweeping up the streamers and ribbons and whatnot, which absolutely popped me. That is great shit.
Oh, man. Arnold here trying to portray sad dad. He's actually doing a decent job with the like feelings part of this. Obviously known more for his action acting, but pulling off being a dirtbag dad here.
Yeah, he's not like a full Stallone and over the top, but he's he's maybe in the ballpark. You know what else is great shit though? Phil Hartman. You want to talk about perfect casting? This dude is supposed to be smarmy and disingenuous and a little condescending. Like he's smiling and saying nice stuff to your face, but you know he's full of shit. And you could not find a better person to pull this off than Phil Hartman. Just listen to the exchange the two of them have when Arnold gets home that night.
Ted, what the hell are you doing on my roof?
I had some extra lights in the garage, and since you didn't put up any yourself, I thought, what the heck? Why not spread a little Christmas cheer around the neighborhood?
Oh, gee, Ted. How thoughtful.
Hey, sorry you missed the karate class today, but don't worry, I got it all on video for you.
What would I do without you?
Clearly, Arnold knows what's up here, and he better watch out. First, you let a guy on your roof. Next thing you know, he's trying to come down your wife's chimney.
Oh, God damn it.
What?
Yeah, that's pretty good. He definitely wants to come on Rita in many ways.
Oh,
sure.
Good God, no. It's Christmas time. Don't be so crass.
I know. I am thrown off by this character. You're right. He's doing a good job making this smarmy neighbor thing happen here. But he is not worried about getting his ass kicked by Arnold Schwarzenegger. And that, to me, is very fascinating.
I have just here written down a single line in my notes. Santa cuck.
That was the tagline that they were going for.
I was just thinking that's who he is in this movie.
Yeah.
He's trying to,
He's trying to cuck all of the men.
What's the opposite of presents? That's what he's trying to deliver to all the husbands in the neighborhood.
Coal.
Yeah.
He's got a sack of something he wants to deliver to these ladies.
Oh, no.
And it's his nuts.
Oh, good Lord. All right. Well, Arnold can't be happy with Phil Hartman sniffing around, but he's got bigger things to worry about, like the fact that his son is pissed that he missed him getting his purple belt. That's 1 away from green and 3 away from black, Noel. He tries to cheer Anakin up by talking about how cool the belt is, then by wearing it like a headband and doing some vaguely racist karate sounds. But it isn't until Arnold gives a more heartfelt apology and offers to do something special for him that he softens up. In fact, Anakin knows just the thing that his dad can do to buy his way out of parent jail. Get him the new Turbo Man action figure with many cool features that all the kids want. Of course, Arnold tells him he's going to get it because he desperately wants to make things right with his son. But unfortunately for Arnold, there's just one problem. He's an idiot, which we'll get visual proof of in a minute thanks to a hard zoom.
Yeah, this is one of those... It's kind of a tough section here where he's trying to be regretful dad. He, of course, is trying to make up for it, offers the bribe of the Turbo Man doll, and we're going to find out in a second he was already supposed to have bought that, and he's fucked up once again.
Yeah, man. Turns out Rita Wilson told him to get it weeks ago, knowing they would almost certainly be sold out this close to Christmas. And that's going to be all the setup we need to launch us into the plot of this movie. The next morning, Arnold wakes up bright and early and heads out to try to find Turbo Man, but he makes another in a long line of terrible decisions when he promises Anakin he'll be back in time for the holiday wintertainment parade. You know, that one he didn't make it to last year or the year before. It seems like a safe bet. This guy learning from his mistakes or what?
Nope. He just keeps digging himself deeper and deeper, and that's going to build the tension here as we're going to get like the majority of this movie being him chasing after a doll that we're not sure whether he's going to be able to deliver or not. Not tremendously Christmas feeling here. I know we're doing this for our Christmas episode, and it's definitely a better connection than our
Invasion USA. Are we doing this shit again?
Invasion USA, but struggling to feel the Christmas vibes.
Yeah, I'll tell you what does not help with the vibes is Phil Hartman popping up in Arnold's way out the door to hit him with this gem.
Whoa! Nothing like waiting until the last minute, Howitzer.
Fuck, dude. Like, come on. Still, if Arnold thinks that's going to be the most obnoxious shit he's going to have to listen to today, you better buckle up, because he's about to bump into accomplished comedian Sinbad.
Holy fuck.
You forgot about Sinbad?
Yeah. Oh, well, I saw in the credits that he was there, and immediately when I saw Sinbad was in this, I had like kind of positive vibes. I was like, oh, I remember Sinbad.
Yeah, we grew up in the 90s.
Funny in the 90s.
Yeah.
I was fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Sinbad is not funny.
The fact that the guy had like no career after 1996 didn't tip you off that maybe you're not remembering this correctly?
I don't know. I didn't remember or follow the track of Sinbad's career, but holy shit, he does not bring a lot to this party.
No, but he comes in real hot here, ranting about all the useless and or shallow mail he has to deal with this time of year in his job as a postal worker. Then he fires off a diatribe about how Turbo Man is part of a conspiracy by the rich toy cartels to turn children against their working class fathers. No, I'll be honest, I don't recall a lot of Sinbad stand-up from his heyday in the early to mid-90s, but I feel this was pretty in step with his usual delivery and tone. When it comes to getting laughs, though, nothing he says here comes even remotely close to what happens when he and Arnold ask if there's any Turbo Man action figures left at the local toy store. They get laughed out of the building by the other customers and the store's employees, one of whom is young Chris Parnell.
Oh.
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. Okay, I did recognize him, but didn't know that connection. You failed to mention that he also tries to choke somebody out during his rant and drops a lot of other like questionable things. Like he is going real hard in this rant.
He's going postal is what they used to say.
Oh my goodness.
They're leaning into that stereotype.
They absolutely are leaning into him being a postal worker and that meaning that he is likely to go off and harm people. That gets taken to a ridiculous degree further in this.
Oh, yeah, it becomes an actual plot point for sure, yeah. Well, there may not be any Turbo Man figures left in the store, but what they do have in stock is some G-rated slapstick comedy. After hearing the lady just left with the last Turbo Man, Sinbad knocks Arnold into a toy display with his mailbag, but Arnold returns the favor by driving a remote control car under Sinbad's feet while he's chasing her down, causing him to slip and take a full flat back on the floor. Arnold runs out after the lady, but she drives away, which launches us into a brief montage where he fruitlessly tries to track down another doll. I'll give him credit, he gets creative here, trying his luck at a children's toy museum and even a movie theater where the Turbo Man movie is playing. But time is running out and it's not looking good, so he calls home to break the news to his wife. And you'll never guess who answers the phone.
Oh, of course it's Ted. And boy, does he let Arnold know how much he's enjoying touching his wife's cookies. This innuendo is taken so far, and the fact that she's off having a shower while Ted's touching her cookies is not helping Arnold out here.
Oh my God, that's true. Yeah, it turns out Phil Hartman came over to Arnold's house, found Rita Wilson baking a bunch of cookies, and suggested she take a little time for herself while he handles the rest of the cooking. Maybe go take a relaxing shower, which is basically an excuse for him to help take her apron off so we can smell her hair, while obviously inching closer to his ultimate goal of cucking the only 7-time Mr. Olympia winner and the #1 mattress salesman in Minnesota. And while we all know that's never going to happen, it's clear from this phone call that Arnold is getting a little bit rattled by this whole situation.
Ted, I need to speak to my wife. So could you get her on the phone, please?
I think she's in the shower, Howard. Do you want me to go check?
No! I mean, no, that's fine. On your way out, just tell her I will be a few minutes late.
Oh, these cookies! I gotta get the recipe from Les.
Put that cookie down! Now!
Like, on paper, Phil Hartman's plan is working. It's working.
It is working. You know what's not working, though? This movie's ability to keep my son engaged, because this is the moment he tapped out. He's like, this whole weird thing with the neighbor is killing it for me. And he is like, he left. He's like, this is not a Christmas movie.
He wanted more Sinbad.
He wanted less Sinbad.
Oh.
He wanted it to be Christmassy. He felt like it was not a Christmas movie, and he was not enjoying the chase for the doll and or the Phil Hartman character. And he's like, I'm done. We're 25 minutes in here, and that was all that he could sustain in this thing.
Well, much like your son, Arnold Schwarzenegger's mood is also not going to improve after this phone call, as Sinbad just happens to be at the adjacent payphone and immediately starts talking at him again. He's been thinking since their dust-up in the toy store, see, and he's got a great idea. Why don't they team up and try to find a Turbo Man together? Or 2 Turbo Men, I guess. Arnold politely declines, which Sinbad immediately chalks up to him being racist. And even though we didn't watch this together, I could hear you agreeing with him 12 miles away.
Oh, gosh. It's actually
come on
the opposite in this
what?
one. Yeah.
Oh, you've changed.
I felt like Sinbad was misappropriating race in this.
Oh, he's trying to use his white guilt on him?
Well, no, and he was dropping like Rodney King quotes about stuff that clearly wasn't that, right? Like he was.
Well, the Rodney King beating was a national tragedy.
Yes, I agree, but he was using it in ways that were inappropriate, right? Like he was using it in a way when he wasn't being harmed in that way, and yelling about Rodney King when it sort of downplays the importance of it.
So you're saying his voice doesn't matter?
No.
It's kind of what it sounds like.
I'm saying that he was using it as a joke when it probably shouldn't have been that way.
Well, it's more the screenwriters probably. Unless they let Sinbad ad-lib. I suppose the script could have just said Sinbad says something.
It felt like that.
Parts, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, this conversation never really reaches a conclusion because some other procrastinating dad runs by yelling there's a late shipment of Turbo Men arriving at the Mall of America, so Arnold and Sinbad both jump in their respective vehicles and speed away. Or attempt to speed away anyway. Arnold backs up with such enthusiasm that he knocks over a police motorcycle. In fact, the same police motorcycle that pulled him over earlier in the movie. Now that's just bad luck.
Oh boy, and this isn't the end of this connection. We're going to see this come back. Sometimes it's fun when these things get played through and you build those, and right now it's kind of funny, but as it continues, it takes probably a little bit too far.
I mean, this was a little too far for me. Yeah, I'm like, fuck. Of course, it's this guy again. That's fine. The callbacks don't always
pay off.
No, they don't. But after what we can assume is yet another thorough field test, Arnold arrives at the mall just as they're about to hand out numbers for a lottery draw for the chance to purchase a new Turbo Man. At double the price, of course. Nothing like some Christmas gouging. In keeping with the tone of this movie, all the desperate parents overwhelm the guys handing out numbers, which sends balls scattering all over the store and basically starting a massive battle royale. Sinbad maces Arnold to get the ball away from him, but Arnold once again turns the tables by telling the frothing mob that Sinbad grabbed 2 of them instead of the allotted 1. So the mob takes him out, which is good, but the ball rolls away, which is bad. But it launches us into another slapsticky chase scene, which is good? Bad? I'm not really sure.
Bad. Like this chase and battle between the 2 of them is not very good. The dumb slapstick as Arnold is chasing the ball and a small girl gets it and he has to crawl through all of these children's like obstacle course stuff is absolutely terrible.
Yeah, it's kind of just supposed to be funny because he's big, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
and then he gets down there and tries to take it from the kid, and then it's like a bunch of moms screaming that he's a pervert and hitting him with purses, right? You're just
that was
like,
kind of funny, I thought.
oh my goodness. And who sees all of this happening? Who sees a desperate Arnold in the mall here and is going to line up the next set of comedy?
Well, I was going to say, man, we are about due at this point for a Christmas miracle, or at least another new element to keep the plot moving forward. So it isn't a total surprise when a mall Santa Claus played by Jim Belushi gets Arnold's attention and tells him that he's got a Turbo Man doll for sale if he's willing to meet the price. And if you're wondering at home, yes, that is undoubtedly the first time the words miracle and Jim Belushi have appeared in the same sentence.
Oh boy. Wow. I didn't even realize it was Jim Belushi. I recognized the little person actor who was playing as Elf.
Yeah, Mickey from Seinfeld.
Yeah, exactly.
Most people know him, yeah. No, man. Well, Belushi Claus and his elf lead Arnold to a sketchy warehouse full of other mall Santas boxing up a bunch of what appear to be off-brand toys. Now, that probably should have gotten Arnold's radar up, to use the parlance of our times. But it isn't until after he forks over $300 and opens up the wrap box that he realizes they just sold him a cheap Hispanic Turbo Man knockoff. He demands his money back, but is told that all sales are final. So Arnold laces into this cadre of Clauses with the fury of 1,000 presentless sons.
You know what you guys are? Nothing but a bunch of sleazy con men in red suits.
What did you call us?
You heard me right. Con men, thieves, degenerates, lowlifes, thugs, criminals.
The North Pole, them are fighting words, partner.
Put 'em up. Relax, buddy. I'm not about to hit a Santa Claus.
Perhaps not, but he is more than willing to snap Jim Belushi's beard back in his face, and before you know it, we've got a full-on brawl with ninja Santas, tiny Santas, and one enormous Santa played by the Big Show of WWE fame. How is Arnold going to get out of this one?
Oh my fucking God.
You didn't enjoy this sequence?
Oh, it was just like, usually I enjoy when stuff is taken to a ridiculous place, but something about this was just so off that we had the Big Show punch a little person and he went flying
yeah.
I don't know,
wire
like
work.
50 feet, with the wire yanking him back all the way into some other toys. Like you said, we had Ninja Santa. We've got a whole group just dogpiling on him. And it's actually looking pretty bad for Arnold. Despite Arnold being a badass, he can't take out all of these guys. I mean, it's not Commando.
I always have a machine gun. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. If you did, then it would be going a little bit differently. But right as everything's about to sort of end for him, he's been tasered, he's been dogpiled, and it looks bad for Arnold. The police bust down the door, and maybe he's going to find a way out here.
Yeah, man, they're there to raid this black market Santa Claus warehouse, which does give Arnold a moment of reprieve. But it isn't until he grabs a fake badge and acts like a disgruntled undercover cop whose operation got blown that he manages to escape the warehouse in one piece. But he still doesn't have a Turbo Man doll, and even worse, his car runs out of gas miles away from home. And it's almost time for the parade. But luckily, Phil Hartman is there, handing out hot chocolate and offering to swap recipes with a few remaining moms who haven't already had the pleasure of one of his house calls. That man has thoroughly impressed the neighborhood, including young Anakin Skywalker, who even says he wishes his dad was more like Hartman. And even though Arnold doesn't hear him say it, that's gotta hurt.
This is that juxtaposition here, right? We've got Arnold, lowest of the low, right? He hasn't found the doll. He knows now that he's not going to make the parade. He's run out of gas. He's pushing his car like Burt Reynolds and Malone here.
Yeah, just a man pushing a car.
Just a man pushing a car. And at the same time, the sort of actions are leading towards divorce. We do get a weird...
Oh, Jesus!
We get a weird divorce comment by Ted's kid here.
Oh, yeah.
The kid literally says, my dad was terrible until he divorced my mom.
Yeah.
And now he's the best dad ever. And I don't know. It's just...
Maybe your parents will get divorced.
Yeah, that's what he says to Anakin. And you're just like, what the fuck kind of message is this? I was like, oh, great. Your dad will be alone, but then go find all of the neighborhood strange is sort of the message.
But he pays that forward to his son.
Yeah, now he's a much better father.
All that goodwill, it trickles down.
All right, that's
much
fair.
like the juices of the neighborhood
ladies after Hartman has shared cookie recipes.
That's right.
And plumbed their pipes.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Twisted their bulbs, light bulbs, that is,
yes.
into that's a common expression, right?
Yeah.
No. Arnold does try calling his son and talking to him on the phone, but that goes even worse than what the exchange we just had. And as Anakin hangs up and runs away crying, it prompts a "Damn you, Howard" from Rita Wilson. Oh yeah, his name's Howard. We didn't mention that ever. Arnold slinks over to the counter at the diner he's calling from, only to be greeted by Sinbad, who, we learn, wasn't able to get his hands on a Turbo Man either. The two of them lament their respective failures as fathers and men before we get a Sinbad origin story about how his life would have been so much better if his own father had come through with a toy he promised to get him for Christmas as a kid. And as he takes a swig of whiskey from a Mickey smuggled in his coat, we get a cut to a young Anakin in Sinbad's postal worker uniform saying,
Here's to you, Dad.
As Arnold looks on mortified. And I'm sure this was supposed to hit hard as a big emotional moment, but the cut was so ridiculous that I could not take it seriously.
I laughed so
Me
hard
too!
at little
Yeah.
Annie chugging a bottle of booze. It was really funny. I
a
put it
child
in this-
hobo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, this bad Sinbad and Arnold battle, though, is about to start up again. We're about to get that terrible fighting because after Arnold has this little trip where he sees his son chugging booze and his life being ruined because he hasn't got a Turbo Man doll, which is absolutely fucking bullshit, by the way.
Hopefully, Jesus.
Yeah.
If not, I gotta really step up my father game.
Yeah, well, holy shit. They hear on the radio that there is a contest to win a Turbo Man, and the guy at the diner who is sick of these assholes being in there tells them that it's only 2 blocks down the road.
Yeah, which of course gives us yet another foot race. Now, Arnold obviously gets there first as he's in much, much better shape. But after kicking down the door to the DJ booth and naming all 8 reindeer, that was how you had to win, by naming Santa's reindeer, he is met with the unfortunate news that all the radio station was offering was a gift certificate for a Turbo Man doll once they're back in stock. So that's disappointing, but not as disappointing as when a bunch of cops show up to arrest them because, in addition to Arnold forcibly entering the booth, Sinbad's play was to claim that one of the packages in his mailbag was a homemade bomb. So wait, this whole time he's been driving around town trying to find a Turbo Man he was supposed to be delivering mail? Boo, Sinbad, boo.
What a terrible federal employee.
So you're saying fire the black guy.
I'm saying Sinbad is negligent of his responsibilities, yes. You know what else is negligent? Claiming that one of the packages is an explosive device so that you can get away from the police.
Yeah, that's probably a fireable offense regardless of your cultural background.
I think fireable, arrestable. This to me might have been a step too far.
Okay, I hear you, but if it was good enough to get him in the DJ booth, I guess it's good enough to get him into trouble. Because Sinbad runs back the whole homemade bomb thing with another package, which gets all the cops to put their guns down so he and Arnold can run away. In separate directions, of course. But the old motorcycle cop, he's there too, by the way, knows a thing or two about bombs. In fact, he tells the nervous patrolman that he spent 10 years on the bomb squad, and he's got a feeling that they've been duped. In fact, he's so confident that he rips into the package with a grin, only for us to be greeted with the sound of a giant explosion.
That was really a bomb? Just a sick world we're living in. Sick people.
I don't know, dude. Felt like a long way to go for that payoff.
It was terrible.
That's been like your running comment about this movie as we've gone through it.
When they cut back to him and he looks like a cartoon character explosion, this is like a Wile E. Coyote fucking thing where his hair is standing up, he's all charred black, yet still survived a bomb exploding on him. I'm like, is this supposed to be fucking funny? Like, they were hoping for laughs with that, and I was like, this is atrocious.
Well, they're hoping for laughs from children, not from adults.
I hope not. I don't know. So they thought that the police officer having the bomb explode and him looking like a cartoon character would be funny for the kids.
What did you want them to do? Blow him to fucking smithereens? It's like PG movie.
But then don't use a bomb as a comedy device.
Maybe they are trying to make it like an actual cartoon, like a real life cartoon.
It felt that way.
Well, especially
and later we're about to
yes.
get to it. Yeah. So yeah, and it didn't play for me.
No, that's fair, I guess. But I'm not sure that you are I'm not sure that current age you is the target demographic for this movie.
That's
Just saying.
fair. Yeah.
But yes, the cops are all fine. But I'll tell you what is not fine. Arnold's car. I guess that radio station and diner were in a rough neighborhood as he comes back to find it up on blocks and thoroughly stripped. So he hitches a ride home with a tow truck driver, only to see Phil Hartman putting the star on Arnold's family Christmas tree. That is a major transgression, and one that even Rita Wilson can't abide, as she tells Hartman that it's her husband's job and makes him take it down. Unfortunately, Arnold doesn't see that part, though, as after remembering that Phil Hartman told him he's got a Turbo Man doll for his son nestled safely under their Christmas tree, he makes the decision to break into his neighbor's house and steal it by jimmying the lock with a credit card, 90s style. Remember when people used to do that?
Did that ever work? Or is that
apparently? I don't know.
I don't know. That happened a lot in 90s television for sure. This is about the worst move Arnold could make, right?
Yeah. It's not
Break
a good look.
into the neighbor's house, steal the toy from the other boy, and put it under your own tree. I know he's been through a lot today, but we also feel like the likelihood of him being caught in this situation is pretty high.
Oh, it's 1,000%. Yeah, and that's what happens after he gets all the way to the door but realizes at the last second he can't go through with it, as he would essentially be stealing from a child. Arnold turns around to put the toy back, only for the reindeer that Phil Hartman bought for his son. We didn't mention that part. He bought a fucking reindeer. That thing charges at him, which leads us into yet another slapsticky kerfuffle. This reindeer is chasing Arnold, and they're smashing through the house, and in the course of this misadventure, he knocks one of the three wise men from a life-size nativity scene into the fireplace. I guess it's actually just the head only, but that's enough to spread the fire to the Christmas rug before Arnold boots it through the front window, where it lands right in front of some carolers. They scream, of course, which gets the attention of Hartman and Rita Wilson, who had come outside to listen to them sing. So the jig is thoroughly up here, although I feel like Arnold might have had a play if he'd claimed he saw the smoke and ran in to try to save the doll for the other kid. That's maybe a believable scenario, no?
Ooh, I'm not surprised that you had an out in this situation. Yeah. That you were out thinking what was going on here is not a surprise to me.
It's an immediate lie.
Yeah,
right?
you
Like,
knew right away what to do. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you had that one on lock. What was surprising to me was just how perfectly bad all of this went. It also included Arnold punching the fucking reindeer in the snout.
Yeah, it charges him and he knocks it the fuck out, which he did like in Conan with the horse. It's a callback to a better movie.
I guess that is true. I do enjoy that callback, but he straight up punched it in the face and knocked it down. They're going to bond over that later, but...
They are. That was kind of funny. No, but whatever story Arnold could or couldn't have spun here, Rita Wilson does not want to hear it. She's sick of his excuses and is going to salvage whatever's left of Christmas by going to the parade with Anakin alone. Well, not alone exactly, as she asked Phil Hartman to drive them. This gives him the chance to hit Arnold with one last dagger, as he tells him,
"You can't bench press your way out of this one."
That's a pretty stiff shot at Arnold Schwarzenegger here, but not nearly as stiff as the shot Arnold gave that reindeer, like you said.
Oh, yeah, what a punch. Holy shit. He thinks here he's got it, right? Hartman thinks that he has sealed the deal here.
Yeah, that's a victory comment by him.
Yeah, he wouldn't have made that comment if he thought that he was not going to get into Rita Wilson's pants here. He believes that he has sealed it, and we're going to see that based on some actions. I think he underestimates her loyalty to her man, or maybe her desire for a fit and loving father, not the manipulative Hartman character here.
Yeah, well, he also underestimates Anakin's desire for his biological father instead of this,
Sack of potatoes.
Yeah, exactly. Sack of potatoes. As despite all the letdowns, Anakin is still holding out hope that Arnold will be at the parade. Rita Wilson says not to count on it, and as we cut to Arnold getting shit-faced with a reindeer outside of Anakin's clubhouse, I guess those two buried the hatchet, it sure seems like she might be right. But then he spots one of Anakin's drawings on the clubhouse wall. It features Arnold Schwarzenegger pumped up and smiling, and he realizes it's not too late to keep at least one promise. He'll have to move fast, though, as the parade is in full swing, and Phil Hartman is getting closer and closer to parking the car, which in this case is both literal and a euphemism.
It is looking like it is possible at this point. Arnold has done everything he can to fuck up this relationship and the relationship he has with his son.
Christmas.
Yeah. What a wonderful time of year. I can see my son's complaint here. This isn't much of a Christmas movie.
For the first hour and 15 minutes, yeah, maybe
it's just
not
a broken... We are about to get the Santa Claus parade, which is going to bring some Christmas spirit back to this. We get bands of Santa Clauses. We get large floats, and we're going to see what they're all really there for, which is the big Turbo Man float.
Well, as he approaches the parade, Arnold spots Phil Hartman putting on the full court press on Rita Wilson and starts running towards his van, only to smash right into that same police officer from before, who is inexplicably carrying 4 scalding hot cups of coffee despite having third-degree burns on his hands from that bomb earlier. The coffee goes up and comes down all over his face, which launches us into yet another foot race. How many is that now? 5?
Too many.
Yeah.
Too many.
Arnold gets away, at least for a moment, when the old officer is looking his way instead of where he's running, slams face first into a school bus, but he decides to duck into a nearby building just to be safe. Once inside, he's quickly grabbed by a production assistant who slaps a costume on him and gives him a series of rapid-fire instructions about how to operate some piece of machinery that they don't reveal yet. But if you can't see where all this is going, then you must be as drunk as I was supposed to be right now.
Oh, God, yes. This is absolutely clear-cut. He's going to be Turbo Man. Turns out the previous Turbo Man had a bit of a serious accident trying to use the jetpacks.
That's what we learned, yeah.
Yeah, and so they needed a stand-in here, and it's going to be Arnold. This is all going to go tremendously well for him, right? Nothing bad could go wrong.
Yeah, man, Arnold is Turbo Man. He rises up triumphantly out of a parade float as some guy plays a sick guitar riff, and he begins waving and saluting to the crowd, including his son, of course, but also that police officer who is hilariously none the wiser. Just then, the parade MCs announced that Turbo Man is going to choose a lucky kid from the audience to receive a special edition Turbo Man figure, so this could not possibly have worked out better. You know, unless some nefarious character who's also just bringing his hands to Turbo Man decides to crash the party. Hey, it's probably unrelated, but you know who we haven't seen in a while? Sinbad.
Yeah.
Where's that guy?
That's really disappointing. You know what we also haven't seen? What was the outcome of Phil Hartman and Rita Wilson in that car there?
Oh, he like legit tries to kiss her and she slaps the glasses off his face, which causes like eggnog to spill on him.
Yeah, she smokes him in the face with a, what do you call those things that keep things warm?
Bitch slap? Oh, sorry. Thermos?
Yes, a thermos full of eggnog, and it goes everywhere, and he is appropriately humiliated for making a very hard pass at Rita Wilson. She clearly is not into Hartman, and he seems a little confused, but she does at least take his son and her son to see the rest of the parade. I wonder which one of them, though, is going to get chosen for this doll.
Well, it's obvious. And going back to my question about Sinbad, we see someone off screen grab the actor playing Turbo Man's arch enemy. And as soon as the guy who's now wearing the costume slides down to the float, we immediately know who it is. Sinbad, a.k.a. Myron the Mailman, is back, and he's got one thing on his mind.
All right, kid, give me the doll and nobody gets hurt.
Myron?
That's right, Turtle Man. Thought you could outsmart me, didn't you, huh? Thought your little suit idea was so slick. But you know what? I'm one step ahead of you because I've got a bigger brain.
And I've got to say, if there was ever a time you wanted to be wearing a costume with a giant visible brain in the helmet, it's when you're making that statement.
Yeah. I mean, it worked out pretty well. The Dementor character, I think, is his name.
There we go. That sounds right.
He's acting as Dementor here. I did have it in my notes, just pretty late in them. He goes to chase after Annie, and Annie goes for a bit of a run. They go on quite the climb, and the cops stop Rita Wilson from intervening here because they say it's all part of the show, even though we know it isn't.
Well, speaking of the show, it turns out these costumes are surprisingly functional, as Sinbad is able to launch a flying fist at Arnold from 20 feet away. Luckily, Schwarzenegger is able to counterattack by sending several flying discs back in Sinbad's direction, which bounce off him and I guess spray into the crowd. This whole thing is a lawsuit waiting to happen, and that's before young Anakin climbs up the fire escape of a low-rise building, like you said, to get away from the deranged mailman, or before Arnold Schwarzenegger literally launches himself hundreds, if not thousands of feet in the air with Turbo Man's jetpack. Mark it down, Noel, 1:14:35. That's a time of death for any credibility in this movie.
Holy fuck, this jetpack scene
unfucking believable.
Made me angry.
Same.
I was fucking pissed off. One, it looks terrible.
Yes, but it's the effects of the time.
Yeah, but the effects at the time do not pull this off. He is zipping around. By he, I mean Arnold in this Turbo Man suit is all over the sky. They're trying to make it funny, but it just looks like absolute bullshit.
Yeah, he basically goes into the fucking stratosphere, then turns the pack off, which sends him into a free fall. Then he's flying all over the place, like you said, in between skyscrapers like goddamn Superman, before getting caught in an awning, whiplashing around a pole like a tetherball, smashing through a family's dinner and headfirst into the side of a building in a move that would have 100% broken his neck. But instead he's just vibrating against it before falling, 60 feet to the street below? And this is where I wrote, it's a cartoon. We're watching a cartoon at this point.
We have taken that Wile E. Coyote explosion and transformed it into real life. You're absolutely correct, and I'm a little disappointed in myself for not noticing this, but they have completely accepted cartoon rules.
Yeah, like I said, credibility, fucking dead, it's gone. And this whole debacle culminates with Sinbad getting his hands in the doll after the giant rooftop Christmas tree he and Anakin were on collapses. Sinbad lands on one of the floats and is fine, albeit surrounded by cops, but Anakin is still dangling dozens of feet overhead while the parade goers look on in horror. He tries his best to hang on, but eventually drops, letting out a terrified scream before his father springs into action, reactivating the jetpack and flying in for the save. The crowd predictably goes wild, and as Arnold gently brings them in for a landing, having thoroughly mastered this jetpack in mere minutes, Rita Wilson thanks him for saving young Anakin. It's a nice moment that is completely ruined by the fact that none of them know it's Arnold in this costume. Who the fuck else sounds like that? This is even more unbelievable than all the other shit we just saw.
I completely agree.
There's some other big fucking Austrian in Minnesota walking around.
So angry
God
that
damn.
they didn't know it was him. They have a full-fledged fucking conversation, and they thank Turbo Man for saving his life and tell him he's a hero. And it is not until he pulls off the see-through visor
There's also a helmet.
Yeah, but you can see through this fucking visor. You can hear Arnold's clear Austrian accent. There's no chance they don't recognize him before the helmet removal, but they don't. But when he does, holy shit.
Oh, he blows his family's fucking minds.
Yeah. Rita Wilson floods the streets.
Even that old police officer with burns on his hands and now face can't help but be impressed, telling him,
"We could use a man like you on the force."
Thanks. I'll keep that in mind. Oh, I'm sorry about the bike. And the coffee. And the bus. And the bomb.
So it looks like everybody's going home happy. Well, maybe not everybody, as in addition to you and I being thoroughly disgusted with this, the cops haul Sinbad away while he mutters to himself about not being able to look his son in the eye. But just then, the true hero of this movie reveals himself. It's Anakin Skywalker, who steps out of the crowd and offers Sinbad the doll. Why would he need it, he says, when he has the real thing at home? And it took a while, Noel, but at this point, there's so much Christmas spirit, I thought I was going to gag on it like a thick, meaty Merry Christmas, everybody. Let's hit the credits.
What a strange way to end our discussion of this movie. Wow. And I'm not upset that we got to the credits. I'll tell you that.
Less than 90 minutes, thank Christ.
Yeah, 10-minute of credits.
It was lengthy.
Yeah, because I was like, ooh, this is like, it's going to be a lot more. I thought we had a lot more, and then when it ended, I was pretty happy.
Yeah, all that jetpack sequence probably required a lot of technical credits to go in there at the end.
Yeah, I agree.
God damn.
Holy fuck.
Well, there it is, man. We got through this family-friendly debacle. Maybe we go horror again next year. I don't know.
I would love that. I would love that.
We'll find we'll do something different next year. The family-friendly. But here's my question. Last year, we watched Surviving Christmas with Ben Affleck, which was more of an adult comedy.
Much more fun for me.
Oh, it's better, right? Wasn't it better?
Way better.
We'll see if the ratings bear that out. It seems like a good time to go to our ratings. The way we always do this, we rate the movie on a scale of 1 to 10 two times. 1 to 10 for how bad it is, 1 to 10 for how enjoyable, and the goal is to find movies that are a 10 out of 10 on both scales, or what we call the Crit 20. And I really had to think about this because 43-year-old me is not the target demographic for this. This is a movie for children.
Yes.
The cartoon elements, which got increasingly ridiculous as we went along, clearly are meant for a less mature, less discerning audience, people who just want to laugh at slapsticky stuff and have a good time. So I do think there are several things wrong with this, even from a kids movie perspective for a PG family-friendly comedy. There was very little Christmas cheer until the end. It was a lot of desperation and lamenting about
sad family.
Yeah, family stuff and absentee fathers or emotionally distant fathers. And man, it's heavy for such a ridiculously cartoony movie. So I'm going to give this an 8 for how bad I think this is. I can't go full 10 or even a 9 because I do think if you're a kid watching this, you probably would have laughed at a lot of stuff. And it does star Arnold Schwarzenegger, who does a decent job playing against type, although nowhere near the kindergarten cop level. You referenced that earlier, and that's such a better Schwarzenegger comedy, as is Twins, as is fucking Junior, if we're being honest here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to give it an 8, but yeah, my enjoyable rating will definitely be lower. What did you think for this one?
It was bad. I think the story was poor. I think too much time was spent on the chase for the doll and not a lot of payoff. I didn't find it funny. For a comedy, and you have mentioned, I think it's fair that it wasn't created for us, But my son, who is the target audience, quit at 25 minutes because...
Different generation, though. This is 30 years after this thing came out.
Well, that tells you, though, that it doesn't age well.
Oh, yeah.
The comedy doesn't age well. The pacing doesn't age well. He might have enjoyed that last 15 minutes, but it took way too long to get there.
Well, if you don't get to it, you'll never know, right? So that's the problem.
The bomb scene and the comedy aspect of the flying around as Turbo Man was just beyond ridiculous and not fun or funny for me. The Phil Hartman character, like I thought Hartman played it well.
Yep.
But if this is supposed to be a kid's comedy cartoon,
why is there a
kind of
guy
feeling,
trying to doink the kid's mom?
Yeah. And I know that you kind of have to put something in for the adults, but I just felt like it was kind of tasteless. And I don't know if that is like being a married dad. I would be offended by that character in my family's life. But
you must have liked, though, that it was not Schwarzenegger, but Rita Wilson who put him in his place. Little female empowerment there for the liberal.
It was nice that she smoked him in the face. He did deserve it, but all the rest of them, Arnold and Hartman do fine in what they're supposed to do, but the acting around that wasn't great. Sinbad was a disappointment for me. Absolutely. Anakin
You were expecting
Skywalker
more
was
from
a
accomplished comedian Sinbad.
Yeah, I was.
So, I saw Anakin and I fucking groaned.
Yeah.
And that's not really his fault, I guess, but like...
I had this as a 9 bad.
You know what? That's fair. I had an 8. We're close. We're in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
How enjoyable, though, did you find on a scale of 1 to 10?
I enjoyed Arnold's performance. I actually had Wilson's performance in here, too. I know you kind of shit on her because you don't find her...
Because I'm shallow and a misogynist.
Tremendously beautiful, but that's okay.
I was expecting Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, so you just set your hopes high.
If I had been expecting Tia Carrere, I would have just been shitting all over this whole time. No, I thought for some reason they ran back the True Lies thing in this, but they did not.
Disappointment. So I enjoyed Arnold. I enjoyed Wilson. I laughed at some of the moments they stuck in. There was some good humor, but for the most part, I thought the comedy was not that good. I didn't love the cartoony nature. I didn't enjoy Sinbad. I didn't enjoy Hartman. I didn't like the character. It wasn't that his performance wasn't good.
He's perfect for it.
Yeah, but I don't like the character. And so for me, I had this all has a 6 enjoyable. It was just above. Arnold did enough to pull me above neutral, but that was about it.
Yeah, I have this as a 7 enjoyable. I have many of the similar criticisms as you, but not the Phil Hartman one. Apparently, Phil Hartman was enough for me to bump it by 1 point to your enjoy
All right,
rate.
that's fair.
I like Schwarzenegger, obviously. Even in something like this, he's just fun to watch.
And you like a dad trying to cuck all the wives.
No, man. I like Phil Hartman. I'm a big Phil Hartman fan. And again, perfect casting. Just that smarmy, like some of the looks he gives and the tone that he says these
I will
things.
say, because it bothered me so much, he obviously did a good job.
Yes.
Right? Like, he clearly was effective in that role.
Although,
I just
to
didn't
your
like
point, perhaps strains the believability a little bit that all these ladies are fucking tripping over themselves for, like, Phil Hartman's not, I wouldn't call him like a bad looking man. Well, I don't know. It's odd that just like, no, I thought Hartman was just a great Phil Hartman in a career that sadly lacks a lot of big screen performances. Sinbad, on the other hand, man, it's funny because we grew up in the 90s, like I said, and we saw Sinbad kind of at his peak. And I was always kind of like, okay, that guy seems kind of funny. But then like you see this and you're just like, fuck, I guess not.
Yeah. That was my immediate response too. I was like, oh, Sinbad's in this. This should be fun. And, and it absolutely wasn't.
Yeah, no.
Just if he had a choice of the lines, if any of this was like, Sinbad, do your thing, I am incredibly disappointed.
Yeah, so I think for a light Christmas watch, and again, light, about 80 minutes minus the credits, I don't know. I wasn't as offended by it as you were. I gave it a 7 for enjoyable. But yeah, this would not be high on my Christmas watch list for the future. What did you think, though, about the 6 beers you drafted in our beer draft? How do you want to go through this, man?
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to rank them from the one I enjoyed least to the one I enjoyed most, I guess, or the one that surprised me the most. For me, my expectations of the Phillips Brewing lift ticket beer was kind of like thinking that we were going to get Jamie Lee Curtis.
This is your.
So my Jamie Lee Curtis to Rita Wilson is the lift ticket. I picked it my first overall pick.
Yeah.
And it was actually the beer I enjoyed least out of all the beers. So that one was that was my least enjoyable beer.
6
number
out of 6.
Number 5, I did enjoy it, but maybe not a style that I would go to that often, was Granville Island's Cypress Honey Lager. It was tasty, really smooth. It definitely tasted like a mead, though. The honey lent itself strong to that, and it was more like, I'm worried if I drink more of this, I will be hungover as shit the next day.
Yeah.
Because
that was what I said when you drafted it, but yeah.
Next one on my list would have been the Camp Beer Co.'s Redwood Hops Among Giants Amber IPA.
Oh, okay. You just wanted to try that, right?
I just wanted to try it. I never had one. It was clean. It tasted like a red that was hopped like an IPA, and I enjoyed it.
But still like 4th place. But not bad. Just
not bad. Yeah, it was
4th
good.
into this roster.
And then up next, 3rd place is the Man Crush Mandarin Ale.
That was your second pick, and I wanted that one.
It was good.
Yeah.
I really, really liked it. After that, 2nd place is going to be the Mind Trip Hazy IPA.
The one you just drank.
The one I just drank. Really good. I would absolutely drink this again. I would go to it as a hazy IPA. If you can get your hands on the Mind Trip and you like hazy beers.
Who's that one by? Who does that one?
This one is by the Main Street Brewing Company. They seem like they have really cool stuff. There was another beer by them that I wanted to try in the past.
And we're going to try it in the future. That was when I pulled that can out and read the description, I'm like, this is a fucking Noel beer, 10 out of 10. Yeah. But number 1.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. West Coast style.
Great name. Great can.
Definitely heavy on the citrus flavors.
And that's by who again?
This is by The Bridge. And I mean, one of my favorite things, bridges. We've talked about this on the podcast before. So, I mean, anything by a brewery that is all about a big bridge, making beers based on some of the movies we love. How can this not be my number 1 from Christmas? The Bridges Get to the Chopper California IPA.
Cool, man. That's good stuff.
What about yourself?
Hated them all. Puked my ass. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well,
my rough initial period after the draft is not going to sway my opinion on these. Well, maybe not most of them, but I'm going to go the opposite of you. I'm going to start with the one I love the most, and that was actually the Camp Beer Co. Camp Canadian Pilsner.
Nice.
Which that was one I kind of drafted just because I like Pilsners and because I was feeling defensive about my American flag shirt that you called me out on in the draft. And that was fucking great. Just very crisp, very clean, classic Pilsner taste, and really enjoyable. Made me want to try more Camp Beer Company beer, so hopefully that can be a thing that I do in the future. My second favorite was, and this is no surprise, I don't think, Smuggler's Trail Black Gold Coffee Stout. That had some great coffee flavor.
You gave me a sip of that one.
Yeah.
It was delicious, yeah.
I like that it had the coffee taste, very bold, but not overly sweet. Which some coffee stouts, they put a lot of lactose in there or whatever, the sugars. And this was not that. This was, it tasted honestly like I was kind of just like drinking like a coffee with like a shot of something in it. So that was good. I'm kind of torn for my number 3 because I really enjoyed the Good Company lager that I actually picked last. I like the can art with the cartoon stuff, but the lager itself, very crisp, very clean. This was the last one I drank before things turned, but I still have fond memories of it.
Yeah.
And the Granville Island Lions Winter Ale that I just drank for this episode here, you drafted a winter ale.
Yes.
And did not like it. You mentioned it was your worst one.
It was the least favorite of mine. Yeah, it was
overly fruity, which was not what we expected.
No, it had some of the winter flavors, but it was very, very fruit forward. And yeah, it kind of put me off. It was not what I was expecting.
Well, this had all the winter flavors, and it was exactly what I was expecting. And that was just a stomach warming, got some kind of chocolate and vanilla notes in there. One of these two is number 3. The other one's we'll call it 3A, 3B. My first overall pick, the Phillips Dinosaur Power Key Lime Pie beer. Oh man, like it tastes a ton like key lime pie, but so fucking sweet. You had tried this a little bit of this as well, and I said to you at the time, I almost wish I could drink this as like a shot, as a series of like 1 ounce shots rather than trying to polish off a whole tall can, because I was laboring through this. Tart, but like just too sweet flavor, but you really do get the key lime pie taste, and like cool can. I'm going to say only disappointing because it was just too sweet to handle, and I think it may be the culprit that kind of put me out of commission for
7% too.
Yeah, power.
It's high on alcohol and incredibly sweet.
Yeah,
Phillips kind of the ones that went 1 and 2 and ended up
very low in our ranking.
List.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to try some more Phillips to give them a redemption story, I think. But
my lowest one actually on my list was the Vancouver Island Brewing Islander Lager. Just there wasn't much there. It just, it's kind of, I had it first and I was like, this would be a good beer to kind of ease into things. didn't really do it for me. So I kind of regret not taking the Vancouver Canucks one in the draft. We debated it, and I took this one instead.
We talked about that one.
So I mean, I had nothing against Vancouver Island Brewing. It's my first time having a beer from them, and maybe their other stuff's better, but this was just, of the 6 I had, not the best.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Appreciate the, just want to say again, the Tag liquor store is delivered. If you're looking to get some BC or Alberta beer here in Ontario, you will pay a little bit more, but a good advent calendar experience for the most part for me. But a chance to try some cool stuff we can't normally get. So Tag, yeah.
I love that I got to choose 6 beers from 6 different breweries that I would not normally get to drink
and some
from.
of which you have not tried before.
Thank you for organizing that for us. That was really fun. I always do love the Christmas draft episode, even if I was a little nervous this year.
Fuck, well, you shouldn't have been. Apparently, I should have been nervous this year, but that just goes to show you, everyone's got a plan. No, what's important is we got through it.
Hey,
not in one sitting, but we got through it. Unfortunately, not our drunkest episode of the year like we planned. Apologies to the audience. That's on me. But
wait for the next one.
I was going to say, because 2 weeks from today, we're going to be giving ourselves a little Christmas gift and watching a movie that probably many people have not heard of, but one that we've wanted to watch ever since I bought this in one of the Vinegar Syndrome Black Friday or halfway Black Friday sales. 2 weeks from today, we're going to be watching a German movie called Killer Condom.
Oh man, a bit of an art house horror film noir here.
Yeah, no, this is art house, like a sentient condom who's biting guys' dicks off across the city of New York. That's the premise.
Yeah.
It's a horror movie where condoms are, castrating dudes.
Teethy.
They're very teethy. It was unappealing. You get a close up of that thing, and it was. I'll be honest, I was scared.
Yeah,
rattled me to my core.
Maybe that's what set you down. Maybe it was the fear of losing your dong. But
yeah, well, the fear is real. You will hear all about it 2 weeks from today. Really a weird, interesting fucking movie, and I'm so glad that we watched it. And if you are a fan of our, shall we say, less mature shenanigans, come back in 2 weeks' time because you'll get a full double handful of that.
I honestly don't remember what was said, so I'm curious to hear it. And
I remember watching the movie and being fucking mind blown.
It was, it was really, really interesting, and you're going to hear all of our thoughts about that next time.
Yeah, definitely. Before then, though, if you haven't already, please follow us on social media at the BMB Podcast on Twitter and Instagram.
Send us emails, thebmbpodcast@gmail.com.
Definitely. We're not even halfway through our season yet, so if you have an audience request, we've got a couple of those coming up soon. But we can always fit in 1 or 2 more before we wrap things up here. But on behalf of myself, Noel, producer John, and the whole Bad Movies and Beer team, we want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you so much for being with us. We hope to see you back in 2 weeks' time for Killer Condom. Until then, I'm Cooper.
And I'm Nolan.
And we'll see you next time on Bad Movies and Beer.
Don't let your wives share their cookies with the neighbors.
2 dads, 1 toy, no prisoners.